Good morning, everybody. It's Mark Winter here from In Technology Distribution, and thank you for your patience while we got the webinar ready to set up and ready to go. As I said, my name is Mark Winter. I'm the CEO of In Technology Distribution, and we're going to run through, in conjunction with Connexient, the webinar today is going to be around digital wayfinding and indoor navigation for healthcare. Wanted to do just a very brief introduction for those of you who may not know who In Technology are. We are a distribution organisation. We've been around for 19 years. We have offices across the Asia Pacific region, so Sydney, Melbourne, Gold Coast, Manila and the Philippines. We have 31 staff across those locations, and we work currently with about 6,500 channel contacts from around 2,100 partner organisations. We are very much a partner-focused organisation, and what that means is that we engage directly with, if you're an end client, if you're an end user, we engage directly with a channel partner or a channel partner of your preference, and we will work with them in assisting them in developing detailed scope of work, success criteria for projects, detailed documentation and analysis. We also provide end user and reseller training certifications to your preferred local resources. And we also provide support, and we do back-to-back support with your channel partners or with your preferred channel partner for ongoing maintenance and management of the systems that you may purchase through us, through them, if that makes sense. So we are very much what we would class as a true value-added distributor in providing you with, or providing you and your partners with the right technology and the right support to manage it moving forward. Obviously, because we are talking around healthcare today, I wanted just to give you an idea in relation to some of the other vendors that we work with in and around the healthcare space. I'm not going to go through these in any detail at all. You'll see them on the screen there. We will actually send you a copy of this presentation and the recorded session. So, and if you wanted to have any more or get any more information around the vendors that we work with in this space or in the healthcare space, please feel free to reach out to our team, who will also do introductions to you, via the webinar recording as well. So without further ado, what I wanted to do is really just kick off today. As I mentioned, we're going to be talking about digital wayfinding solutions for hospitals. I do have Mark Green on the call and also Scott. So I will pass over to Mark. Mark, if you want to take control or share your screen, we'll pass over to you for the detailed presentation. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Mark, and welcome everybody. This is Mark Green. I'm co-founder and CEO of Connexient. We are a company that's headquartered in New York City in the US, providing a full suite of digital wayfinding solutions for hospitals and healthcare organizations. I have with me today Scott Campbell, who's our Director of Professional Services, who runs our implementation group working with our clients on the deployment of this technology.
Good morning.
Great. So the first point I would like to make about Connexient is that we are very much focused 100% on the wayfinding challenges of hospitals and their patients and visitors. So this is an indoor mapping and location services technology, essentially blue dot wayfinding. And so we are, again, very focused on the hospital vertical market. When we started developing this product over 4 or 5 years ago, we've been doing wayfinding signage for hospitals through a sister company in the US for over 20 years. So we've worked with hundreds of hospitals and helping them design their physical or static wayfinding systems. And we saw a huge opportunity 6 or 7 years ago to look at a digital platform for wayfinding to complement the signage systems that hospitals have in place. So when we started thinking about the architecture of our solution, which is called MediNav, we realized that this really had to be more than just a mobile solution, more than just an app. Clearly, we have a mobile app for iOS and Android that provides true indoor GPS turn-by-turn navigation. But based on the different demographics that hospitals have with their patients and their visitors and different age groups, we realized that we really needed to make these indoor maps and directions and routes, et cetera, available on multiple channels within a hospital environment. So in addition to mobile, we have a complete HTML5 web version of ManyNav in the maps. And we also can deploy this on kiosks and digital signage inside hospitals as well. So it's truly multi-channel, multi-modal. And so it really provides your end users as a hospital access to the information anytime, anywhere, whether it's on your website, whether it's via a mobile device, whether it's on a touchscreen kiosk. So we believe this sort of all screens approach is very important in a hospital environment. From a mobile perspective, we have two ways to deliver the solution. We have a white label version of ManyNav, which would be a separate downloadable app, mobile app on iOS and Android that would be completely branded for the hospital. We also have a native SDK, or software development kit platform, where if you're a hospital and you're looking into this Blue Dot wayfinding technology, but you want it to be seamlessly integrated within your own app at the hospital or some other app, we can facilitate that via this native SDK approach. With our white label, this is just providing some of the sort of high-level features of what we call our Navigator version. Think of this as Google or Waze for your patients and visitors. So we're leveraging indoor positioning technology through BLE, Bluetooth Energy Beacon technology, which we'll talk about here in a second, but the ability to position a user as soon as they walk into your building or drive into your parking garage with a blue dot to show them where they are, to allow them to search a directory for a destination, and to get true turn-by-turn navigation through the hallways of your hospital. So that's our Navigator version. That can also be, as I said, integrated. So this is one example of a large customer in New York, one of the top 10 hospitals in the US, New York Presbyterian, who has integrated the Connexion SDK directly into the NYP app. So New York Presbyterian approached this from the standpoint of wanting a single app for their patients and visitors, where they're doing a lot of other things besides wayfinding, like telehealth, bill payment, Epic MyChart integration. And so with the SDK integration, they've essentially embedded Connexion's maps and location services directly within their application. So two different approaches for the client. Another high-level decision we made from an architecture perspective was to understand that a navigation experience for a patient or a visitor or even a staff member of a hospital is often more than just navigating from point A to point B within one hospital building. We clearly do a great job with that, with the blue dot, but we can also incorporate with our customers all of their other secondary buildings, whether they be medical office buildings, clinics, other hospitals in the network. So we do that via very tight integration with Google Maps directly within our application. So this really becomes a true end-to-end or sort of home-to-appointment user experience for a patient or visitor. We can seamlessly take them from the outdoor navigation in something like a Google or a Waze or Apple Maps, automatically switch them to an indoor map, the Connexion indoor map, when they arrive inside your hospital, navigate them, and maybe take them back out to some other location offsite. So going from outdoors to indoors, back to outdoors, a true end-to-end wayfinding experience. In terms of the architecture and the way that we do our indoor positioning in navigation, we use BLE beacon technology. We're actually quite agnostic in terms of the platform that a hospital might want to use. We have our own battery-operated beacons that we can install in the hospital. These are beacons, very low-cost beacons, completely wireless, with a 5 to 6 year battery life that we can install, typically every 30 to 40 feet along a hallway of a hospital. That provides a very accurate 1 to 3 meter positioning with updates every second, so it's a very smooth blue dot experience. We also recognize that many of the major players, whether they be networking companies or RTLS companies, have adopted Bluetooth and BLE into their own infrastructure, So we can play very well with those types of infrastructures, whether it be Aruba, Aristaflow, Polestar, Mist. We can make our application, our wayfinding application, work very nicely with those infrastructures. At the top of the slide, it's showing some of the different applications or use cases that we see in a hospital. Now, of course, we're doing wayfinding, and that was our first use case. But we're actually having conversations, starting to work with some of our hospital clients on some integrations to other applications in the environment, whether that be asset tracking applications, safety and security, facility management, logistics, etc. Now, Connexine is not going to create those solutions necessarily, but where we want to stay focused is on that middle layer of being a true enterprise level indoor mapping and navigation services layer that can position users on the device, route people, share location, and then make these other applications and use cases more efficient in a healthcare environment. And this really speaks to the same thing. So it's really, from our perspective, we have evolved as a company, starting as a wayfinding solution only to really more of an Internet of Things mapping and navigation services platform. And through these integrations, we can add value to all these different areas of the enterprise. We've got a very large customer base, primarily in the US and Canada. We now have 58 hospitals under contract using our wayfinding solution. And as you can see here with some of these customer logos, we've got some pretty major health systems here in the US and starting to expand, and clearly through our partnership within technology, looking forward to bringing this technology to your region. Some of these deployments are quite large. I'll give you one example, Baycare Health System, which is based in Florida. We just deployed MediNav at 13 of their hospitals in about a 10-month period. And we're doing those types of enterprise rollouts at a number of these major health systems. A couple examples or case studies, University of Alabama, Birmingham Medicine in Birmingham, Alabama, large academic medical center. We've mapped out over 6 million square feet at that hospital, including 7 buildings and 3 parking garages, which represents over 10 miles of navigation pathways where we've got beacons providing true turn-by-turn navigation, over 135 points of interest on the maps. UAB launched the app, which they've labeled or branded Wayfinder in February of this year, and they've had a really tremendous adoption from their patients and visitors. Over 12,000 downloads of the Wayfinder app, over 90,000 unique user sessions, which average about 9,000 sessions per month. They've done a very nice job of marketing the solution. They've got it deployed on all 3 platforms, mobile, web, and kiosk. One of our older customers and larger customers is the National Institute of Health Clinic in Bethesda, Maryland, NIH. It's a 5 million square foot facility. They called the app Take Me There. And again, they've had tremendous adoption and usage of the technology, not only with their patients and visitors, but they've got their entire employee base using Take Me There. So they got over 40,000 employees, contractors, et cetera, that use the app to navigate themselves throughout this facility, but also to do some other interesting use cases. For example, NIH implemented an issues reporter inside our application. So any employee that sees some kind of a maintenance issue, whether it's a spill or graffiti or something that needs to be fixed, can report that issue directly within our application. We will geolocate on the indoor map where that issue is. That would then get routed to a maintenance supervisor, and then they can use the app to go navigate to go fix that particular issue. We've also done a real-time Uber-like interface to their shuttle system. They have a 300-acre campus. They've got many different shuttle routes. Those shuttles have GPS sensors inside them, and in our app, any employee of NIH can look at where these vehicles are in real time and when they're arriving at different locations. So some interesting integrations that we've done with NIH. So that's an overview. What I'd like to do now is just any questions?
Yeah, Mark, I just want to, there's a couple of questions I wanted to just run through, if you don't mind. One was asked on the list when we went through and we looked at the vendors that are supported. There was a question regarding Cisco was not on the list in relation to the location pieces and also in relation to the BLE. So can you maybe just talk through, what BLE is supported under the Connexion brand and what BLE, that you work with?
Sure, I'm glad to do that. So we are actually working with Cisco. Cisco has added, as many of you know, started with Halo and hyperlocation. So Cisco has Bluetooth radios inside their, they started with the 3700, 3800 access points, and now the new 4800. They're continuing to enhance that technology. We can, from our perspective, again, what we do is we use something called handset sensor fusion technology. So it's technology on the actual mobile device that's reading the BLE signals in the environment, as well as some of the sensors on the phone, like the compass, accelerometer. And that sort of fuses all that data together and is able to then position somebody on the map. So when we look at a Cisco, let's say a new 4800 access point that's transmitting an advertising a signal, we can use that just like any other beacon in the environment. Now, the key thing is really around density and placement to really